President Zelensky has been visiting Ukrainian special forces near the city of Bakhmut as Kiev counter-offensive. Mrs. Zelensky praised the troops' truly heroic performance of the troops and said he had traveled to their advanced positions to honor their strength. The city has been the scene of some of the fiercest fighting of the war, and the visit comes after a multi-story residential building and a security service building was struck by missiles in the central city of Dnipro. Now at least 9 people were injured and the strikes caused widespread damage. And we can go live to Ukraine to our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse, who's in Kyiv there. James, clearly that strike just in the last sort of few hours and last night, and it was clearly damaging to morale, but President
Zelensky is very upbeat in his message to his troops in Bakhmut. Yes, it feels like, doesn't it, that the focus is shifting eastwards in recent days, where let's start with that missile strike the top of residential block, as well as a headquarters building belonging to Ukraine's security services. Well, they were damaged, but no one was killed thankfully, but 9 people were injured. And it reminds you of the residential block that was struck earlier in the year where dozens of people lost their lives. I think the city of Dnipro is interesting because it's only 3 hours from the front line, but it's a place which has really carried on as normal, and I think the images of last night of another missile strike in the heart of the city show Moscow's attitude to the tactic it's deploying, in that it sees civilian casualties or areas themselves as acceptable collateral damage in its continued invasion, or that it is a deliberate targeting of a civilian area. Now we've heard from the Kremlin saying it was targeting a Ukrainian command post with what it called high-precision weapons, but nevertheless it's a messy situation for people this morning, and as you say, President Zelensky has been making another visit to frontline positions. Really, he was last in Bakhmut at the start of the year, when his forces controlled the city, which is now pretty much in ruins. Now he has visited advanced positions on the outskirts where he has thanked his troops. He hasn't gone into detail about what their plans are. He even posed with them in a petrol station having a coffee.